link up with the Wycliffe Okech in Kisumu, and he's engaging Kisumu RFC officials on development of the sport in that particular region. Good morning, Wycliffe, and what's happening with Kisumu RFC? What plans do they have as far as growing the game and also maintaining their status in the Kenya Cup?
Well, a very good morning to you, Bernardo Kumo, back in Nairobi. What a wonderful discussion you've been having right there in studio regarding the just concluded biggest tournament on the African continent, that is the African Cup of Nations. And away from the AFCON, coming back home, we've got quite a number of sporting activities that are staged at the national level and at the regional level. And this morning, we just want to talk about the development of rugby in the country, and to help me understand actually the nuances of rugby tournament in the country, I'm going to engage the officials from the Kisumu Rugby Football Club. That is one J. Cox Movali and Eric Ondieki. Those are some of the officials from Kisumu RFC, basically to help us understand exactly what are some of the challenges that are bedeviling the rugby sporting activities in the country. And without much ado, let me just kick it off with you, J. Cox. If you look into the camera, tell us, the pitch where we are right now, this is Kisumu National Polytechnic, where over the weekend Kisumu Rugby Football Club staged their home match, and that it ended in a defeat, that is to KCB. Tell us, first, what actually happened in the defeat, and probably what are some of the challenges that are bedeviling not just Kisumu Rugby Football Club, but the entire rugby fraternity?
Thank you very much, and once again, thanks for the invite. Before I start with this weekend's game, I believe I can take you back where we started our campaign, where we just got promoted into the Tier 1, that's Kenya Cup. And our first opening match was against Kabras. I believe that was a very tough match for us because, remember, Kabras are the defending champions. And we had our opening match against them. Yes, they gave us a big score. We lost on a big score margin, that is 76 against 10. But the positive thing about it, I think, up to as late as this past weekend, that is on Saturday, we are the only club that had scored against Kabras, because most of their games they are going on a clean sheet, so which basically tells something about us. We are the only team that had crossed their defense line, so which means we are doing something good in terms of our attacking skills as far as our defensive skills are concerned. So into the weekend's game, yes, you know quite well also KCB the second in command after Kabras. Yeah, basically we had a very good first half, which ended at 23-0. Basically, we lost it, or we soaked so many tries in the second half where we had so many errors, including some discipline issues where we had two of our players sin binned. They were given, sin bin is a card you're given. In rugby, you're given a yellow card, you get out of the pitch. So numerically, we were disadvantaged. So most of the second half, we had 3 sin bins in second half. So basically, we were playing like 2 men down. That is 13 against 15. So that's when we now registered the average score of 62-10. By and large, I think we've also had a good campaign. Now this rugby has become very dynamic. Maybe we can only speak about 1 or 2 or 3 teams that are dominant in terms of their performance, and because of the obvious reasons. Most of the players they are having, they are professional players, where most of them are being being paid to play rugby. So they have full-time engagement in regards to, rugby training, and that they call their commitment. Ours is more of amateur, where most of our players are students, and some of them are just now into the professional world, so they secure only 1.5 hours sessions. Mtu akitoka kazini at around 5:30, they train up to around 7. So, but we've also had quite a good show where we played against Quer here in. We played against the university side in Nairobi, that is Catholic. We won, and also We played here against the other university side, Monks, where we managed to have a win against them. So basically we are having 2 wins on the stands. We had 1 draw in Nairobi against Homeboys. So we are hoping for the 3 remaining games. I think we're hoping to put in a good campaign. And basically our target is to be in the playoffs. If worst case scenario, not playoffs, but we have to maintain our status quo campaign in this Kenya Cup season, 2023-2024. Yes.
Okay, fine. Away from Kisumu Rugby Football Club, to be specific now, let's move to the larger spectrum of rugby tournaments in the country. You're mentioning to me earlier on that sponsorship is one of the major challenges that are actually hindering the progress of rugby games in the country. How about that?
That I repeat, it's something that is giving us an unfair competitive edge against the big boys, where most of them have corporate sponsorship. And if you look at the top 3 clubs in Kenya Cup, that is Cabras, KCB, and now in Menengai Oilers, all those are corporates. It clearly tells you on what financial support can do. Rugby game is also an expensive game because if you look at us traveling to Nairobi, it's quite a budget. Hosting a team of, like, say, 30 people, it's quite expensive from the logistical aspect. From here to Nairobi, the transport, the accommodation, their meals and stuff. So basically, we are somehow disadvantaged, but we want to thank one of our partners called Kisumu Specialist Hospital, where they've walked the journey with us. They're giving us some support, but the budget is too huge. But the good thing is they are open-minded in terms of they are welcoming other corporates to also come on board. We join hands to at least make sure that these boys are getting a fair play. They are also getting compensated in terms of their time and everything, because most of them, as I stated, they are students. And some of the students, we go as far as Maseno, we go as far as Riyadh. Yes, here in Kisumu Polytechnic, we have some of the students that are also playing for us. But you get that the pocket money they're given by their parents is not sustainable for them to come from Maseno to come for training here on a daily basis. So we have to chip in on a daily basis. So we have a pool of almost 25 players that we have to sponsor their transport to and fro for every session. That is basically, in a week, we are spending close to 30,000 shillings just on fares alone. So that one, you see, it's quite an uphill task to us. So what I can say, and I repeat, there are so many corporates around Kisumu here. We have the likes of United Millers, we have the likes of Kibos Sugar. There are quite a number. And we are not limited to just, these kind of big companies. Also, we have other corporates, I believe. We have banks, stuff like that. So they can still come in and we can join hands and see how to at least make this game great again. Yes.
And in this case, away from the sponsorship from some of the corporate companies that we mentioned,
yes,
the Kenya Rugby Union, how can it come through for the clubs in the country?
Okay, basically, our mother union, there's the Kenya Rugby Union. What I can say, yes, they have the goodwill, especially for us as Kisumu. I remember, if I can just take you way back, the last interview we had here was about in regards to, that is Dallas Sevens. That's our annual tournament that we've been awarded by the Kenya Rugby Union. That is our only source or our main source of income, whereby when we host that event, the money that we get from that event is what helps us to run the season. Over and above, the union also saw the rugby enthusiasm within this region, where rugby is born and raised in this western region. And they decided to give us to host the hosting rights of Kenya versus Uganda. That is the Elgon Cup. Fairly also, that is an avenue for us to raise some funds in regards to helping us run the season. So what I can say, the Kenya Rugby Union have a goodwill for us, and I think they are very supportive. It's only that now, if you look at economically, we going as a country, we are going through an economic turmoil. Sure. Also, the mother union, I can say, maybe they're not that well-oiled in terms of finances. They also have their equal share of challenges. So we're just trying to help where we can. Right. Yes.
Thank you so much, Jay Cox. Bernard, before I hand it back to you in studio, let me just engage briefly another official, that is Eric Ondieki, they also from the Kisumu Rugby Football Club, also to help us understand actually, apart from now the corporate and also the Kenya Rugby Union that are chipping in one way or another to support rugby activities in the country, what other ways can be adopted actually to grow the game, to ensure that those talented players actually can move from one level to the next in their professional journey? If you just move here and look into the camera, tell us, in this region, Dallas Sevens is quite a big tournament that is staged annually. Is that not enough actually to attract corporates to come on board and support this wonderful game?
Thank you. Yes, Dallas Sevens indeed is one of the greatest investments we have as a club. However, over and above that, we have our league games that are running throughout the season, and we really want to encourage our sponsors to come on board, because during these league games is where you get to interact with your potential customers across the year. So it's not only Dallas Sevens that happens once a year, but during the league games. And I really want to thank our fans this weekend, and for the last 2 weekends we've had the games here. They've turned out in large numbers. I think for quite a long time, this is one of the largest attended home game that we've ever had. So we really promise our fans, number one, we're going to offer them more in terms of entertainment and refreshment, security-wise. So we're setting up a corner for children so the young families can bring in their children. The beauty of it is that this institution is alcohol-free, so you are sure that there is no that exposure of alcohol to your children. Secondly, we just want to encourage our members, more people to subscribe into membership, because that's another avenue of raising money for the club and buying club merchandise. So if we get that, then I think we're good to go as a club, because our brand will be visible and we'll be giving our sponsors value for their money. Yeah.
Finances prove to be the greatest impediment for Kisumu Rugby Football Club and just any other rugby clubs in the country. How do you manage it actually to pull resources apart from the fundraisers that you guys do all the time? How do you manage it actually to pull resources to ensure that you even honor your matches that are staged as far as in Nairobi and other parts of the country?
Thank you. So as a club, first and foremost, we use resources raised from Dallas Sevens and any other partner to run the club. That includes paying salaries, transport allowances, and honoring our matches. However, this year we didn't get good revenues from both Dallas Sevens and Elgon Cup. So what we've been doing, I think we ran out of funds sometime in January, and our sponsorship for this year has taken time to be approved by Kisumu specialists. So we got a good Samaritan who actually came on board and decided to enable us honor these games. Over and above that, our members have been fundraising week in, week out to ensure that we are able to meet our obligations. So we're just calling out to those well-wishers out there, those corporates. Kisumu RFC is your brand, and especially the county government. Our appeal is that we need to be assisted in terms of the venue where we are hosting our games. It's very expensive. The county charges about 50,000 shillings to host a match at Mamboleo Showground. So that becomes costly. And therefore we thank Polytechnic for coming in through for us and giving us a fair rate as a partner. Remember, this is an institution where we have our students learning. We've been here for the longest, about 40 years now. So Polytechnic, really, we want to appreciate the principal, the entire management, and it's one of those partners that we pray that they excel in their mandate as an academic institution. But to the county government of Kisumu under Professor Nyang' Nyong'o, we're really appealing to you through the Ministry of Sports. We've done letters to request for support, but this support seems not to be coming. So Kisumu RFC is your club, and we really wish that we can be allowed to use that grounds at no cost.
And finally, what is your appeal to the fans? And I would like to know, the fans themselves, do they have to pay fees probably to come and cheer the home team?
Definitely, yes, they do. We do get fees. That is how we also raise revenue. Through that amount of money, we are able to carry out the club activity. So the more fans come in, the more they are contributing indirectly and directly by supporting the team on the pitch and also financially. So our fans have been a backbone, and we really appreciate them, and we call upon them to turn up. Our next game is going to be Mwamba on 24th. We're going to travel to Nairobi. Thereafter, we are having 2 back-to-back home games against Kenya Harlequins and Strathmore University. So, and those are must-win games for us, and the numbers matter to us.
Thank you so much. Bernard, that has been Eric Ondieki and his colleague Jacob Movali talking to us about the progress that the Kisumu Rugby Football Club has had throughout the time. And over the weekend here, they staged a match against KCB right on the pitch where we are doing this live interview from. And well, the result didn't favor them, but they are so optimistic that the 3 remaining matches, they will be able to pull positive results. And their major appeal, as you've heard, that finances actually seem to be the biggest deterrent to their progress. And that is the reason they're putting up an appeal to corporate companies around Kisumu and the region, and basically the Kisumu County government, so that they can chip in and assist Kisumu Rugby Football Club in the best way they can. And you've heard them mention that actually the fans have been a crucial backbone to their progress, and that is also the reason they are putting out an appeal to the fans also to continue streaming, especially when they have home games here at the Kisumu National Polytechnic, so that they may be able to generate enough revenue to honor even away matches, and also be able to purchase enough merchandise for the club. Well, that has been the discussion we've been having here, and that will put a mark on it. And let me hand it back to you in studio so that you continue with that interview in studio. Back to you, Bernard.
Thank you so much, Wycliffe Okech, speaking to Kenya Rugby Union of Kenya Rugby RFC officials in Kisumu. And remember that Kisumu RFC are currently placed 7th on the Kenya Cup standings. That's the league for rugby sides in the country, top league for rugby sides in the country.